All right, hello everyone, and peace of Christ to all of you. Please invite your friends, and if you are a Muhammadan, please join us in this nice conversation to discuss together who is Jesus the Christ in Islam. There's many articles written by Muslims about Jesus, but in fact, I could not find one article, neither a statement made by Muhammadan or by Muhammad himself or by so-called Allah can explain to us what Jesus is. And some Christians, they just, you know, copy paste what the Muslim says about Jesus. And what the Muslim says about Jesus, I find it kind of weird. As an example, Jesus and the angels and Jibril are all in Quran, as are Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, and bunch of other Bible or biblical names. The fact is not true. Quran never mentioned the name of Jesus ever in the Quran. There's a guy, his name is Isa, and nobody knows who is Isa. Never reported in history, not in a single Christian book. Now, we assume that this is the same Isa as Jesus because Muslims, they say he is the same. But in fact, there's no historical proof. There's no evidence of such an existence of a person. His name is Isa. And the Quran quote the name wrongly, which is a name we never heard of. I am an Arab, and we Arab Christian, we don't call him Isa. We call him Yeshua al-Masih. I will write it for you in the screen so you can see with me what we call him. Yeshua al-Masih. Yeshua is coming from the word Yeshua. The difference between the Hebrew and the Arabic, and even the Aramaic, that sometimes the letter Sa or Sin is switched to Sheen in Hebrew and vice versa. So the Messiah here is coming as the word Masih. The word Yeshua is coming as the word Yeshua. It's almost the same. But in Islam, there is no Yeshua. There is only Al-Masih. So here we notice right away that Islam is not really speaking about someone we knew, as much speaking about a different character, and there is a huge lack of understanding. As an example, Islam teach, according to the Quran, and we prove that many times, that Mary is the sister of Aaron, and Aaron is the brother of Moses. So according to the Islamic belief, Mary is the sister of Aaron, which means he is the uncle of the guy, his name is Isa. Now who is Isa? Who is this guy who his name is Isa, who his uncle is Aaron? Nobody can explain. And the father of Mary in the Quran, his name is Umran. Who is Umran? The Muslims agree that the same father of Aaron is Umran too, and the same father of Moses is Umran too. But Umran, he is not the father of Mary, and he is not even the father of Aaron and Moses. There's a huge difference between Umram and Umran. To make it simple for you, I will type the words in the screen again, so you might understand better. In the English Quran, they type it as this: Umran. But the way it should be is Umram or Amram actually. So even the name is very close, but it's wrong. But this is not the name and cannot be the name of the father of Mary. So why the Quran even cut the name, the wrong name for the father of Mary? The wrong name for even the father of Moses. The wrong name for the father of Aaron. And how the Quran in a miraculous way made Jesus the Christ, or who they called him Isa. Here we go, he changed the name. We got a name we do not know. Suddenly he became the nephew of Aaron and Moses. So take always into your consideration that Islam is not a religion we can learn about the Messiah from, because obviously it is a wrong history, wrong person, and it is made by a illiterate person who do not know even a basic knowledge about Christianity. As an example, Islam teach that Mary she was accused by the Jews at that time to be a bad woman, and they said to her, you know, this is why they are saying to her, oh, sister of Aaron, what you did. But this is false, because the Jews cannot accuse Mary of such a thing, because for a very simple reason, she is engaged to Joseph, which means legally she is married. Engagement in Judaism is marriage without living together, which means she's still virgin. He did not know her yet. The Quran never mentioned Joseph, never mentioned that Mary she was engaged to anyone. And here always, as usual, the Quran is a cut off story. There's no story in the story. Suddenly we have a woman, her name is Mary, and she getting pregnant. How? We do not know. God, he sent an angel, he said to her, you will be pregnant. He sent his word down to Mary, and that's it. The whole story is done. And then suddenly this woman, she go and she sit under a palm tree, which does not exist. Maybe you can see in the movie, palm tree is now in Jerusalem, but Jerusalem is not the city of palm trees. You see, when you see Jesus making a speech, you will see that Jesus, he might making a speech in the mountain of the olive, not the mount of palm trees. It's not a desert. And what palm tree? And then you will see that Mary, the woman, she is shaking a palm tree to eat. I mean, not only the story is funny and stupid, a woman, she's just delivered a child and she is shaking a palm tree. I don't know if you know what palm tree is. I don't know what country you live in, but palm tree, not even 10 men can shake it. So how Mary she was able to shake the palm tree? Stories which nobody knows how it made. Who behind this story? No explanation, no nothing. It's just a guy. Suddenly Muhammad, he came 600 years after Jesus, and suddenly he's telling us what happened to Mary under the palm tree. Which does not even exist in that area. Muhammad is a desert man, so he imagined Mary, she live in a desert and she have nothing. What a trees will be there? A palm tree. But this is not the story. Go to Jerusalem and see what Jerusalem is about. Jerusalem is a city, is not a desert where palm tree is in the side. I mean, where do you want to go in the palm? Where is that palm tree inside the city of Jerusalem? In case you do not know, I mean, Muhammad, he don't even mention to us where is that? Jerusalem? Is that Bethlehem? Is that where this happened? No, nothing, no information. Suddenly Mary, she went to a palm tree. That's it. And then you read the story in the Quran, you will find the story is very funny and very stupid. Look what it says in the verse after. This is chapter 19, verse 24. Then one cried into her from below her. If you ask the Muslim who is this guy, they don't know. Everyone give you his opinion. Some they say this is the angel Jibreel. Some they say this is Allah. Allah is underneath of her. Mary, she is sitting on Jibreel. Mary, she is sitting on Allah. Who is this guy who is speaking from underneath of her? And he said to her, shake the palm tree. They do not know. You can watch my previous videos and you will see every Muslim, every Abdul Muhammadan who spoke to me, he gave me different answer about this verse. And then when the Muslim they try to give interpretation for this, everyone give his own interpretation, guessing, for nobody knows what the Quran is talking about. And then he said to her, shake the trunk of the palm tree, because that will cause the day to fall upon thee. Let me get you a picture of a palm tree so we can laugh together. Palm tree. I mean, obviously Mary in Islam, she used to go to the gym since she was 1 day old. And obviously she was a bodybuilder. True story. Let us look for an image for a palm tree. All right. We found one. Mary, she was shaking a palm tree. You tell me how you can shake it. I challenge you, you Muslims, to make a video and get 20 men, 25 men to shake the palm tree. Shaking the palm tree by a woman who just delivered a baby. I think Muslims, they misquote Mary by Hercules, or maybe I don't know. That is a coconut. It doesn't matter. Palm tree actually is even higher and bigger. And actually the one who took the picture is a Muslim too. I mean, look, all of those pictures. A woman, she is shaking a palm tree. Yeah, maybe this woman, she can shake a palm tree. Yeah, this is a palm tree. Look how big, look how huge it is. So the story in the Quran, any story in the Quran cannot be verified. There is no historical report of it. It's just a fiction stories, and Muhammad is making I mean, and there's no point of this story. I mean, what is that? I mean, she went to a palm tree and then she heard a voice from underneath of her, and he told her, advising her to shake the palm tree. Well, obviously Mary, she did not know that there is a palm tree behind her, and she did not know that she can shake it. If she can, she need an advice. And then he says here, so eat and drink. Okay, well, the palm tree is food. We cannot drink from the palm tree. What is that? I mean, the story is really funny. And then Mary, she went to the palm tree to give delivery. Why she is coming back to her people to show them the baby? If this is a shame, why she is coming back to her people with the baby? Because if she can show her people the baby, then there's no need to go to the palm tree. You do it at home. Close your door. And then they say to her,